This is Double Exposure Show, co-hosted by Sophia Lemon and myself, Petro. Keep listening if you're a photographer, entrepreneur, or small business owner looking for actionable business and marketing advice and funny, off-topic rants. If you're not one of those, stop listening right now. Just kidding. Here we go. Nice glasses, Sophia.
I was just going to say, do you notice anything different about me, Petro?
No, did you cut your hair?
It looks like it, since I have it. It's right here. It's still there.
There it is. It's one of my things that kind of bugs me sometimes when people are like, they'll cut their hair or whatever, and then, a day or two will go by, and then they kind of probe. So did you notice anything different about me?
So I saw my dad last night, and I was wearing these
these
glasses, and he goes, "You're wearing glasses." He's like, "I've never seen you wear glasses." I was like, "You just walked in the room. How did you pick that up that quickly?" Like, I thought the stereotype was that men do not notice these things.
That's
although
bullshit.
I guess, well, apparently you noticed it pretty quickly. But anyway, I'm wearing glasses. Guess what the prescription is?
Your vision is so good that they're making it worse.
Exactly. No, there's no prescription in them. I don't know if you knew this, Petro, but I like a little bit of mild biohacking.
Okay.
So one of the podcasts that I listen to all the time, Mind Pump, one of their sponsors, I'm not going to say who the sponsor is, but one of their sponsors is like a blue light blocking glass company. And they were basically explaining the benefits and everything when you're staring at screens all day. And I'm just listening to this. I'm like, I stare at screens all day.
All day long.
My eyes get tired.
Me too.
I need to get some of those glasses. I couldn't order them to Canada. Like, it wouldn't let me. So I went on Amazon and I found these ones.
Nice.
So I ordered them on Monday and they arrived yesterday.
They actually look good.
Glasses.
I know, you wear
they're
glasses.
Not bad. They're not bad.
You can have.
Do I look like a nerd? I look like the little
I don't know. Here's my
emoji.
thing about nerds. Looking like a nerd doesn't change your personality or your physical appearance. So to me, especially when I moved to Canada and I heard the term nerd and everything, if I found a girl attractive and she was a nerd, I still found her attractive.
Right?
So I didn't care, There was no that. So the term nerd means nothing to me in a negative way. So if you look like a nerd, you look like a nerd. But hey, whatever. You look hot. So forget about it.
But now we have all of these like nerd guys who were bullied as kids, and now they're like super good looking, and they have the whole nerd thing going on, but they're kind of jerks. I
know. That's what you have to deal with. Sometimes people just don't grow up.
Yeah. So I wore them yesterday afternoon when I was editing. I'm going to be wearing them like all the time. I slept better. Like, I was tired for bed, which was fantastic.
Did you wear them to sleep?
No.
Oh.
I'm literally only going to be wearing them when I'm in front of a screen, but I'm in front of a screen so much that I'm going to be wearing them a lot. Like, when I'm traveling and I'm on my laptop, or when I'm editing, or when I'm watching TV is basically when I'm going to be wearing them. And I don't know. I've noticed recently that at the end of the day, my eyes will be tired, and people have said, well, you should probably go get your eyes tested and like see if you need a prescription. But they'll be tired at night, and then the next day they're perfectly fine. So I assume that they're tired from staring at a screen all day.
More than likely, yeah.
Yeah, now, and I don't want to get a prescription and then in 5 years need a new prescription because staring at a screen has deteriorated my eyes even more. So
that's not how it works.
Hopefully this solves the problem. Well, so they send this little doohickey. It's like a blue light laser beam thingamajig, and then this little card that's blue light sensitive. And if you put the glasses over half of the card and then like put the beam over top of it, like you can see how the beam like shows up. It leaves blue on the card, and the part where the glasses were, there's no blue.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in trying that with my glasses.
Yeah. Oh, you can get prescriptions. I'll send the ones to you that were
Shine
on
the
this
light
podcast.
on me.
Yeah, because they
No,
have,
shine the
like,
light on me right now.
I don't know that will work.
All right.
Yeah, you can try them because you can actually put their prescription in there, and they also have sunglasses. I'm not really sure why you would want the sunglass ones, but I'm sure someone out there would need them.
I'm
But anyway,
assuming that their filtering technology applies to more than just blue light from the screen.
possibly. Well, the sunglasses for sure.
Right.
I think these ones are actually protect your eyes from UV rays as well.
They would.
And other than that, like, I've been upgrading my wardrobe a little bit. And by that, I mean, I wear t-shirts. Like, believe it or not, I'm a lot like you, Petro. Like, where I'll just wear, like, a black V-neck t-shirt because it's easy, and, like, a pair of jeans. You're literally wearing a black V-neck, aren't you?
Yeah, that's my wardrobe, period.
I know. And that's what I wear most of the time. I'll throw a blazer on over top of it, or I'll
I
wear,
do have
like,
gray V-necks, too. Like,
well, I also have crew necks and, like, some different
no
colors.
crew
but
necks.
it's-
Crew necks are for ladies.
I don't really like crew necks, but I have a few of them. But
Yeah.
I literally have a navy one, a green one, a black one, a gray one. Like, I have too many t-shirts. So at one point I was like, I need to try a little bit harder. So I've pulled some things out of my closet that I have literally never worn or haven't worn in years. And I've been wearing them. And I've been getting people saying to me, like, you're fashionable. Because I posted something on Instagram saying that I have no fashion sense.
I remember that.
And they're like, you're fashionable. I'm like, it's a ruse. I fooled you. And then I also
I think you
signed
made
up
that
for-
post that you successfully fooled
I did.
people to believe that you're fashionable.
And I signed up for Frockbox. So Frockbox sends, it's like, ladies fashion, and they send you 5 items a month. What you don't like, you send back. What you like, you keep. It comes off of your credit card. So I got my first shipment yesterday, and I'm keeping 3 of the 5 things. And they are, well, 2 of them I would not buy for myself if I just went out to the store. So that's cool. And then also, oh my God, I ordered 2 t-shirts from our store. And you have
I know.
no
I
idea.
got the order notification.
You have no idea how excited I am for them. No idea. I got the little French bulldog with the camera and the peace sign, and then I ordered a men's camera t-shirt.
I saw that.
Because the camera on it is amazing.
Okay.
It's all, like, colorful and, like, watercolor and
Abstract,
I'm
sort
gonna
of.
wear it. I'm gonna wear both of them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna wear them when I work. I don't care. I'm wearing them under blazers, and I'm gonna look super fashionable. So
It's funny because you just said that you wear t-shirts a lot, so you kind of upgraded your wardrobe, and
And then I got
you
t-shirts.
order t-shirts.
I know, but these ones are white with graphics on them, and I don't wear any graphic t-shirts.
You know what? A
and
white t-shirt with
not white
graphic is
ones.
pretty cool.
I know. But
Alright.
someone told me at one point that I'm a redhead and I shouldn't wear white, and now I'm just having a screw you moment. I'm going to wear what I want.
Who told you that?
I just hope that they fit.
Who told you that? I'm really curious to know.
I don't know. I'm sure someone years ago. Like,
Were they a fashion expert?
no.
Yeah. All right.
Basically, for some reason, my whole life, people have been telling me what kind of wedding dress I should wear.
So if
basically
you're
the
a redhead
consensus
and you
is-
can't wear white, what color wedding dress would you wear? Like champagne?
Well, it's
or...
interesting. I don't think so. That might be too close to my skin tone, actually.
Yeah, you'd just basically be nude.
I would look naked. But no, ivory is the general consensus. People say I should wear ivory.
Okay.
And then one time, my friend Michael McLuhan told me that I should wear navy. And I was like, that would be cool.
Like Old Navy?
No.
Can you imagine?
Like, he
if they
said
had
if I
wedding
ever got
dresses?
married, I should wear a navy dress, or like whatever my outfit is, I should wear navy. And I was like, that I would do. That's like the red wedding dress. I would wear navy.
I'm
but
Googling
also,
it.
I was
Oh,
thinking
yeah,
about
They're gorgeous.
I was thinking about what I would do if I got married. Because I
Okay.
think about this all the time, because I think about weddings constantly.
And why is
And I
that?
kind of decided it'd be fun to do a casual wedding. Like, not even dress up, but wear like jeans that you like.
It is
Like
fun.
clothes that you like.
All right, so one of my most favorite wedding dresses right here.
Oh. See, I'm sure people would tell me I can't wear black either.
Right.
Or strapless.
Well, this might not fit your body type, perhaps, like look good on you, but
I can't believe that more people
Love it.
don't wear these alternative wedding dresses.
Yeah, me too. And I mean, they look great. They look fantastic. And there's a way to. So here's another one that I really like because it's not.
Are they both black?
Yeah, they're black. Yeah. No, the people
Okay.
are white.
Pause for a second because I want to let everyone know we're doing video now. What?
Oh, what?
Yeah, our episodes are going to be on YouTube. Hopefully, I'll be able to put them on Facebook. I'm not sure. If
Would have been nice to know.
Right, and then on IGTV. So, if you guys are like,
Right.
"What the hell are they talking about?"
What is
Follow us on
IGTV?
Instagram. And who is IGTV?
What is it?
Oh, Instagram TV.
Oh, interesting. Well, I knew what it is.
basically-
I'm just
Oh,
saying it for the benefit of our listeners.
yeah. Follow us on Instagram,
Yeah.
and then go on wedding dresses.
Yes, I like wedding dresses. I'll be completely honest with you. I would own a bridal shop in a heartbeat. I would run one, like no questions asked.
I feel like you'd be really good at that because you'd be putting people in different dresses.
I would
And
be.
my God, I still see so many people wearing strapless white wedding dresses. I can't
It's
believe
the trend
how they're
right now.
still that popular. But it was a trend like 4 years ago.
Yeah, trends are. They have a life expectancy of 8 years, and I mean they're not
78 years.
7 to 8 years. They're not going away. Put it this way. I mean,
No,
think
they're
about the wedding dresses with sleeves and white gloves and from the 80s that kind of spilled into 90s. Like imagine being the last person to wear a wedding dress like that. Like you're literally like on the I don't know what to say about that.
I would love to see a dress with sleeves and white gloves today. Just
There are some that are very tastefully done. And what it comes down to is that every single person is different. Your body's different. Your build is different. And yes, build and body are not the same thing. So certain things will complement you more than others. So, for example, if you have broad shoulders, maybe the strapless dress isn't for you.
yeah.
You know? And if you have a very long torso and wide hips, well, whatever. Good for you. Not going to get into it too much.
This is what I've been struggling with, though, with my wardrobe, where I've just been wearing the same thing over and over again because I don't know what else to wear. So I've literally the past couple of weeks, I've worn a couple things that like I liked, but I was like, it makes me look like I'm gay. And then I kind of realized that's not a problem.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I was born in Ukraine, and a lot of people
Okay.
might know that by now. And there was not a lot of opportunities for expanding your wardrobe or anything. I mean,
Yeah.
you kind of just wore what was handed down to you, or if you were lucky enough, like my family clothes was sent to us from Canada from our relatives. But I mean, stuff you bought locally wasn't all that exciting. It was nothing to write home about, right? I mean, it was a communist country when I was there. Eventually things kind of got better, and today it's very fashion forward. It's very fashionable, but I was just used to kind of wearing whatever, like So I'm kind of losing my train of thought here because I got distracted by a picture over there. But anyways,
You're kind of like Steve Jobs, though, like where you have the same outfit and you're like, good, done.
well, it works, but I'm a firm believer of less is more, because what happens. So here's why I'm giving you the background story. Upon coming to Canada, and then at some point having to purchase my own wardrobe, whatever. Who doesn't like a sale, right? Oh, wow, sale, cool. A lot of times you tend to buy something because it's on sale, and it might not be 100% for you, right? So let's say you need a sweater, and the sweater you really like that fits you, that is exactly what you need, is $140. And then there's another sweater that's $29.95. Regular price $100, for example. It's 70% off. you automatically buy that sweater because it's on sale and it's still $100 sweater, and you feel good because you just got a new sweater and you saved a lot of money. But when you wear it, it doesn't quite fit right. It's a little bit baggy in the bottom, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't taper as well. But you live with it, and you get compliments on it because people will notice that you have something new, and it might actually look good. It's just not the perfect fit. And people think, well, you know what? For $140, I can buy 4 of these sweaters. So, And now you have a wardrobe of 4 sweaters, and none of them are perfect. You're better off with that one sweater that's perfect for you. You know, I would rather have 5 outfits than that cost a lot of money that are perfect, maybe even tailored, than have 40 outfits. Now, I'm pretty lucky because I fit into clothes off the rack for the most part. My legs are short, so all my pants I buy, I have to hem. Even though I'm 6 feet tall, I have a ridiculously long torso with very short legs. Like a 30-inch inseam barely, is too long for me. Anyways, no matter what I buy, I have to hem. And shirts, I can't buy off the rack. I have to order tall shirts, right? So there's no... What do you want to say? There's never an opportunity for me to go and get a sale, but I do find clothes kind of available to me, and then I can just alter it. Not a big deal. But I had to kind of consciously stop buying things. So as a result, I had to kind of consciously stop buying things that were a good deal that may not have been perfect for me for that reason. So I've found certain things that work, and I've been ordering them online, and if I see them at the store, I'm buying them when I need to. But for example, my black t-shirts, I'm in a black t-shirt the entire day, and it will wear out eventually, right? If I'm working or whatever I'm doing, whether it gets a little hole or even if it just wears out and it has little balls, I move on. I throw it out. I move on. I want a better looking t-shirt. I want a newer t-shirt. So I ordered these by the box. Like I literally order 25 at a time. And I'm really lucky because I get text message notifications from the store I get it from, and they'll be like, "Hey, your t-shirts are on sale for $4. Buy 25."
That's what I need.
Yeah. But for the most part, any other wardrobe, like whether it's a suit or pants or sweater, whatever I buy, or even shoes, I buy the best for me, right? And I don't look to spend more money. Sometimes the best is actually less money than others, but I go for the fit, and that's if somebody takes away something from this that's not photography or business related, it's what you were saying about wardrobe. Like literally less is more. You're better off having 5 outfits that are killer, that rock, than having 40 outfits that are just blah. And I challenge you to go through your closet and donate everything you haven't worn in the last 2 years.
Yeah,
unless you fit into it now.
I do that reasonably frequently, where I'll go through my closet and get rid of a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the girls in my BNI group, she just did her first clothing swap, and then she has another one coming up in the spring, but she sent me a message saying there's one coming up and I should go. And I was like, hey, I'm actually working on expanding my wardrobe a little bit, so that might be a good idea. And there's really just a couple specific things that I want to add, which is so I have like my brown leather jacket. I have a black leather jacket. I need to get my brown leather jacket tailored. And then I have my brown leather boots, and I want to get black leather boots. And that'll be like my winter footwear. That'll be it. And then I want to get a denim jacket.
All right. There you go.
But I have black blazers. I have a gray blazer. I have the t-shirts and stuff. It's just and my jeans are pretty good. But yeah, it's just adding some tops that are sort of different shapes. And part of it is to help me build my confidence and see myself differently.
And that's
know?
where I'm going with this too, right? You will be surprised how much confidence you have when you
Yeah.
feel great in your clothes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're gonna look good regardless. But when
Yeah.
we don't give ourselves credit because sometimes you
Wait,
put
that was
something.
really sweet. Thank you.
Think about this when you put something on that's kind of tight or it just feels kind of awkward. You can't help but fidget. You feel awkward. You feel weird. So whether you go to a wedding or a meeting or whatever, like a networking event, for example, you can see right through that when people are fidgeting with their clothes or whatever. So spend the extra money if you have to. I mean, sometimes you don't have to. Sometimes you just have to go look.
Yep.
And your confidence level will increase dramatically, right? Like,
Yep.
I got it.
And you know what? I really hate going to a wedding and seeing people dressed poorly. Or, like, I know some wedding photographers around who, like, I kind of know, like, you see them around when you're shooting, you see what they're wearing, and I'm just like, that's not wedding appropriate. And it's not that it's inappropriate, it's just the same sweater that they've worn to weddings for the last 4 years.
Yeah, and again,
It has cat hair on it. And
that's what it comes down to. Yeah. If
Yeah.
it looks fantastic, rock it, go for it. But if it is, invest in yourself too. I mean, it's not just the L series glass that you have to go buy.
Oh my God. Yeah. Who cares? I was having this conversation this past weekend. There were 2 videographers at the wedding that I was shooting, and they were trying to figure out what my 70 to 200 lens was, which is my Sigma. And they're like, oh, I didn't know what that was. And I'm like, yep. Yeah, it's better than the L series lens. Like, I'm just going to put it out there, like, pretty sure it's sharper and it weighs half as much and costs a quarter as much as the L series lens.
Yeah, the new, and I will admit the new Canon Series 2 7200 with image stabilization is
no, whatever. The lenses are high
sharp
quality, right? Like, the quality is perfectly fine. That would not be my major complaint. Like, if the Sigma was not sharp, probably wouldn't.
Well, that's what it comes down to. You can't tell the difference.
Yeah,
I mean, unless somebody sits down and dissects it. So, and that's what I'm getting at. Everybody knows this. People just have a hard time. It's like, okay, I'm wearing a hat with a Nike logo on it right now. For those of you who have video and are looking at it, you already know this. No one's gonna see
that because we're blurring it out. I'm just
there. You go. I didn't buy it for the logo. I bought it because it fit my head.
Yeah.
And Nike golf hats are incredibly comfortable. So I wear them, and I wear them for the fact that I have to keep my hair tamed because it's extremely long.
Oh my God, leave it like that. You look so emo.
Yep. That's getting put away right away. My hair is extremely long, but because it's curly, it sponges up. And yesterday I was driving to Kitchener actually to pick up this guitar.
Oh.
So
Don't hurt it.
I ordered a new guitar a couple of months ago, and it finally came in, and it came in to a store in Kitchener because they were the only store nearby that got one of the 6 or one of the 5 guitars that came to Canada. And I got one of them. Anyways, I took off my hat, and as I took it off, my hair was standing up like 6 inches tall. And I didn't even realize it until somebody was passing me. And you know when somebody passes you on the highway, you look, and they usually nod, or sometimes they're like half asleep driving. Well, this person looks, and they're just like, kind of did this. I'm like, what? So I look in the mirror, I'm like, come on. It was literally like this tall. Anyways, moving on. What are we talking about today? You know what? We heard what you were up to. Here's what I'm up to.
Oh, yeah.
Parenting.
Baby brewing.
Yeah.
I was going to say, so you texted me this morning and you asked about rescheduling or something.
I said, if you don't want to record today, I'm good with that. But
and then I told you to take a nap, and then you said you can't take a nap.
I can't take a nap.
So we're recording, but You know you're gonna have another one of those little whippersnappers soon. So.
Yeah, but Hannah will be home. I'll be fine.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Here's what I said. How do you feel about taking today off? I barely slept. Head is pounding. I can still record. I might just be groggy and quiet. Letting you decide. And then I pointed at you. I pointed at the star, meaning you're the star. And I don't know if our listeners can tell, but I'm talking a little slower than usual, and that's kind of why. My head is no longer pounding.
That's good.
Yeah, but I am medicating myself with not only sparkling water, but also made with real ginger, Canada Dry cranberry ginger ale. It makes me feel good. So, yeah, listen, I'm parenting 24/7 here, and I get help from my wife because she's amazing.
Sorry.
Right?
Hilarious.
I know he does.
I
That's
get
what
help
I'm saying.
from. I'm parenting. She helps me sometimes.
She helps me sometimes. No, like Hannah's back at work, and I'm home. Like Mia's sleeping right now. She's behind me sleeping, not literally behind me, but in the room behind me. And you know, she will be waking up at noon, more than likely. Maybe before that, maybe after that. And then I have to make her lunch, and I have to admit it does not leave a lot of time. And so for the next 3.5 hours, I have to entertain a 1-year-old, and we do things. We get out, we walk the dog, we go to the post office. I might read her a book, build something with her blocks. Half the time I just let her run around, and her blocks, side note, her building blocks are literally Kodak medium format film. that the 120 film, the CN41 black and white film that hasn't been opened and exposed yet. Those are her building blocks. She literally
It's kind of cool.
I know. Excuse me. I get too excited and I cough. So it's really tough. It doesn't leave a lot of time to do things. I do bring her on photo shoots with me. So like if I have to photograph a house, we go together. It's fun. And if people have a problem with it, I just don't photograph their house. I'm just like, forget it. So
The world would be a different place if people could take their kids to work.
it's fantastic. It's a lot of fun. And I mean, this was my choice. So as a result, in the background, the new business, Pedal Boss, is doing extremely well. We, every month it was growing, and then May, June, July, it kind of plateaued, where in June it actually dropped down a couple $100. And then in July it went back up. And then in August beat July by $3.28. And I was like, yes. But like I said, May, June, July, August was kind of plateaued. Well, September was almost a whole $3,000 more than August.
People don't do anything in the summer, right?
I guess. I mean, I thought they still play music and buy pedals. But to have a
No, because that's when they break out their like old guitar and they go to campgrounds. The guitar that can get wet and they don't feel too much pain about it. Yeah. Yeah.
So, well, long story short, it's been going extremely well. So that's been keeping me busy too. But I just noticed that my clients have to wait an extra couple of days to get their photos because I'm like, my plate is full. I know I photographed this a couple of days ago, but you'll get it today. And so some of them who are used to my like same day, next day turnaround will text me and be like, photos? ?
Did you forget about me?
And I just go like, you'll see them soon. Just chill.
Yeah.
But part of me just wants to be like, are you being a dick right now? Like photos ? Anyways.
That's so annoying.
You wanted to talk about dealing with experts? No. How did you put it?
Yeah. Sorry. Experts. In quotation marks.
Right.
So I photographed this wedding on Saturday. The wedding was fantastic. The couple was fantastic. There was myself, my second shooter, Melissa, and then there were 2 videographers, one of whom I've worked with before. The other one, Melissa and I both know. She's a photographer, videographer. So the bride and the groom, but mostly the bride, before the wedding in our final consultation had told me we are having an unplugged ceremony. If anyone pulls out their camera, feel free to tell them to put it away. if I see them during the ceremony, I will yell at them. It's like, okay. So I'm standing at the ceremony site. Is absolutely gorgeous, by the way. It was pretty wicked. It's a very popular venue near Owen Sound for wedding photos, but people in the last few years have just started having their actual weddings there.
Oh,
it's
nice.
a dude's house. So it's like a big, I know, it's a big manor. He's this single, he's gotta be in his 70s.
Holy shit.
Year-old man who grew up in this house and built it all up. He's a stone worker. There's stone statues everywhere. There's a hedge maze. Like, this guy just owns this property. He puts up a sign at the front that says public welcome. He takes donations. So you can rent the place as your venue for your wedding for a donation.
Nice.
And then you just use it how you want. Yep. But
like
he'll
$20
reserve
donation?
it for probably, like, it's really inexpensive, but he'll rent it to you. But he doesn't, like, other people can come and have their photos done there the same day, so it could be a little bit awkward that
it's not
but
exclusive.
Anyway, no. So I'm just standing there and I see this guy strolling in with a tripod and a camera bag.
Okay.
And I'm like, what is, like, clearly coming to the wedding? I'm like, what is this? So he starts setting up his tripod. Melissa and I are talking. I'm like, what is this about? The one videographer comes over to us and she's like, what's going on? There are signs that say to put away your electronics because it is an unplugged ceremony. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, what the heck is going on? The videographer's like, should I go talk to the bride? I'm like, no, like, I'll go talk to him. So I went and talked to him, and as you guys can probably imagine from listening to this podcast, you probably think that if I come across someone like this, that I'd, like, lose my shit and go on a rant and everything and just be super rude. But anyway,
I hope so.
I'm gonna try to remember as much of this conversation as possible because I really hated it. It sucked. I walk up to the guy, and I put my hand out, and I shake his hand, and I say, "Hi, I'm Sophia," and he goes, "Hi." To this day, do not know his name.
Awesome.
He didn't introduce himself. So I just go on to say, like, they're having an unplugged ceremony. There's actually 4 of us here to document it. There's like 2 photographers, 2 videographers. So they have it really well covered. The bride doesn't want anyone else taking photos. I was like, personally, I don't mind if you take photos from your seat. But there are 4 of us, so we really need you to sort of put your stuff away. He's standing there, like, with his camera on a tripod taking pictures. I'm like, so we just really need you to put your stuff away, like, take pictures from your seat if you want, but you should know that the bride has told us that she will yell at people if she sees them taking photos. Mm-hmm. And he just goes, she won't yell at me because I've done this before. And that was like...
Like at her other wedding?
No.
What the...
Like, I don't know if to me, he looked like the type of person who was a gearhead, was always a photography nerd, and maybe photographed a couple of his friends' weddings. He didn't strike me as a professional photographer.
Jeez.
So I don't know that he ever ran a business or if he just sort of took photos on the side kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, like, we're not supposed to have our equipment out. I was like, no. And I was like, I understand you've done this before, but the 4 of us have also done this before. And I'm trying to be so kind because he said that and I was like, oh, like, on the inside, I'm thinking, do you think that we haven't? Do we look like we haven't? And then part of me is going like, it's because we're women, isn't it?
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm like wondering now.
Like, if the male videographer had gone over to him and said something, I bet he would have put his stuff away a lot faster. But anyway.
Should have let me talk to him.
So I just keep telling him, like, you need to put your stuff away. It's an unplugged ceremony. And then he goes, all right, well, I'm just going to set up my tripod at the back then with my long lens. I was like, no, you need to put it away. You can sit at your seat. I was like, no cameras. At that point, I was like, no, I'm done. Still being super kind, but I was just like, no, You can't do that either. You're going to have to sit in your seat.
Yeah.
And he ended up sitting in his seat. So that was fine. I had that conversation with him, and he's like, well, I'm just going to take some pictures of the building here. I was like, oh, have at it. Go for it. I don't care. So I walked away and talked to the officiant. I was like, I just want to make sure, like, did the bride and groom say anything about giving a little info at the beginning about how it's an unplugged ceremony? He told me what he was going to say. I was like, that sounds good to me. And then the videographer came over to me at one point and she goes, I just talked to the bride and she said, absolutely not. He is to put his stuff away. I was like, oh, well, I already talked to him. And then she went and talked to him and told him the same thing. And I didn't hear their conversation, so I don't know how it went. So that was fine. He sat in his seat, like, it all worked out. The bride thought it was hilarious. At the end of the night, their first dance rolls around. I have Melissa standing on the other side of the room, opposite me, with a flash. There's a videographer in one corner and in another corner, and then I'm shooting from another corner, and I have a flash in another corner, and this guy pops up and stands in the middle of the dance floor with his on-camera flash, flashing right into my camera.
Yep.
And I was just like, rage! Like, so I just walk around the dance floor, stand in front of him, and point for Melissa to go to the other side of the room. And then I turn around at the end of the dance, and the videographer's standing right beside me. I was like, oh, were you trying to stand in front of him too? She's like, yes. Can you imagine dealing with that as a videographer, like having the flippin' flash going off in your face?
Yeah.
And that annoyed me because I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess you've done this before. You're using your on-camera flash. That makes a whole lot of sense. I bet your photos are really pretty. And this is like, this is worse than people begging me to take pictures with their camera, even though they can just have photos from my camera. Because I'm like, I know mine look better. Oh, man. But anyway, I sent out to my mailing list, like, the story and how I stuck up for myself and how I was so proud and everything. Yeah. And the bride emailed back. She's like, I LOL'd. She's like, thank you for talking to him.
Who was he?
You're welcome. I guess a family friend. I'm not honestly sure. She didn't really say his name or anything. He wasn't an uncle. He wasn't in family photos. Like,
so not
I don't
Uncle
know
Bob.
what was going on. Like, oh, he was just there. But it was like a wedding with like 100, 120, 150 people. Like,
right.
Yeah. Anyway, so that happened. I handled it so well, Petro. There was no sarcasm. I was totally pleasant to him the whole time. Did not like his attitude, but I was nice. Ugh.
I don't know what I would have done.
You would have been fine.
I have done this before, though. I went up to somebody and I said, do you mind me asking you what you do for a living? And,
oh, God, I'm so intrigued. Go on.
Right. I don't remember the answer. Some sort of administration assistant.
Oh,
and I said, now, what if I come to your job site, sit at your desk right beside you, shuffle your papers. Yeah. When you try to type an email, I pound on your keyboard.
Take the keyboard away.
I swipe your mouse.
No.
I swipe your mouse off the table.
Hold on a second. I just want to check my Facebook.
Right. Yeah. Just hang tight.
Yep.
I said, this is what you're doing right now. You're standing in my way. Well, I'm off to the side. No.
No, you're not.
Listen, you're off to the side. You're not in my way as in I'm not going to trip over you, but you're in my photos.
Yeah.
You're in my way. I do not want to do extra work of editing you out of photos. Like, get the fuck out of my way.
Yep.
And when I was angry, I did say it kind of like that. And when I said it like that, the person actually said, I get it. I'm really sorry. Like, shit.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a scary motherfucker. So that
I know,
helps.
but that's a really good response. They could have responded very differently.
I did mention that, look, it's their wedding. It's their day. They're actually paying me a lot of money. Mm-hmm. This is my job site, and I said, if you hired somebody to build your house, Would you show up with your own hammer and nails and start pounding it into the framework? No. Why don't you let the professionals do their job?
Yeah.
Go and look at it from the street, so to speak. So GTFO, and please let us do our job. Now, at this point, I don't recall who was with me. It might have been Hannah. Hannah was probably continued to shoot. So the bride and groom do not even understand. They don't know what's going on. It's uninterrupted. And I usually give people a chance just by talking to them politely, kind of saying, hey, do you mind, like, we're working, and, if you really want a copy of these photos, give me your email. I'll send them to you, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. But if I'm not having a great day, I will go to phase 2 right away. And that's usually kind of like saying, all right, what do you do for a living?
Yeah.
Another person was, when I asked, what do you do for a living? They're like, I'm retired. I said, must be nice. Well, let me work really hard so that one day I can retire.
Yeah.
Get the fuck off my job site. The person laughed at this remark, and they said, "Oh, I didn't realize I was in your way. I'm sorry." And it was somebody who's like not even related, but sort of through marriage, who thought it'd be nice. He just bought himself a Pentax SLR. Just thought it'd be nice if I take some photos for the bride and groom. And he said that. He said, I thought it'd just be nice if I take some photos and give it to them. And I said, look, you have to consider the following.
They hired someone. Sorry.
Yeah.
Now the anger's coming out.
Yeah, and that's what it is. I'm like, I understand where you're coming from, but what's happening is you're here impeding my job. Like, you're actually making things harder for me. So... Yep.
Yes, it's nice. That's why there's someone here doing it.
Yeah.
And all you're supposed to do as a guest at a wedding is be invested in the wedding.
Right.
You're not there to explore your hobbies at a wedding. You are there right? You're there to support your family and friends.
Aunt Jean is knitting a sweater in the corner.
Right?
That's my hobby.
Go take 5 hours and just celebrate the people that you went to celebrate. It's not about you.
You know what?
It is about the couple.
It's a great point, because if somebody is a hobbyist seamstress and they could make a killer wedding dress, can you imagine if they brought a wedding dress to a wedding and said, honey, try this on?
Yep.
And that's the thing. It seems like no other industry does that except for the graphic industry. Graphics, like capturing video or photographs, stills. Where's my vocabulary today? It seems like that's the only thing. Uncle Ray brought a case of the beer he made over the summer for our wedding. Like, nobody does shit. Just because it's your hobby, it doesn't mean you have to involve it.
Oh my God. Okay, you go.
Go.
You go.
You go.
Remember that wedding I was telling you about a couple weeks ago where the woman kept like directing me, telling me what to do and everything?
I thought that's what you were going to talk about when you wanted to talk about this.
I looked her up. She's a director. Like
of
a movie director.
Oh my God.
And I looked up like her IMDb. She has a number of movies in there. It's great, but they're kind of like the bad Christmas movie kind of movie.
Okay.
So yeah. I laughed about that, and I'm just like, it's not like I don't know what I'm doing. It's not like I go to a wedding, and at every wedding there happens to be a family member who's a director and can tell me what to do, because I wouldn't be able to figure it out for myself.
Well, and for what it's worth, if the bride and groom actually said, you know what, let's hire this person to be a director at our wedding, and they communicated it with you, or even if they didn't, if this person shows up and says, hey, they hired me to direct their wedding, I would actually be like, you know what, that's cool. Fine. Direct. Do your job, and I'll do my job. I honestly would. It would be the best thing ever. Sophia, you have no idea how I enjoyed working for the fashion industry when there would be a photo stylist on jobs. I literally would show up.
But that's exactly the same. That is exactly the same as hair and makeup at a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Or the bride picking her dress. She's being styled. You're not styling her.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. So,
Thank
How-
God, because
how
if
do you
I
deal
did
with
it,
these
it'd be a
people?
disaster. Sorry?
how do you deal with these people? So, inevitably, what I'd like to do is I'd like people to take away something else from this. This doesn't happen at every wedding. Most weddings are actually like
No.
really good, but to prevent this from happening, have a discussion about this hypothetical scenario with your clients.
Oh, yeah.
Let them know that you have a plan of action to take, that you will actually ask people to step off because you take your job seriously. And this is the message that you need to portray. So
Well,
again, go
yeah,
back
so let
to,
me-
go ahead.
Let me just explore that idea for a second, because a lot of photographers have this clause in their contract, right? No other cameras, no other photographers.
Clients don't read
So
contracts.
You totally, oh yeah, for sure. You totally need to, well, like we've said before about contracts, you need to sit down with your couples and go over the contract. So you need, yeah, have that conversation with them. And some people will tell you that it's important to them that their family members be able to take pictures with their own
Fine.
cameras. And then, fine. You can have that conversation. You can say, okay, well, it's really important to me that they're not standing in the aisles, that they're sort of taking pictures from their seat. And maybe they'll be like, yeah, that's cool. Or maybe they'll be like, yeah, we don't care. We want them to wander around. And then maybe consider whether this is the right couple for you or not. Maybe it's not.
Right, and that's an opportunity to have a conversation about the amount of photos you're going to deliver. For example, here's why. It's really important for me to have my Uncle Bob also take photos because it's his hobby and he offered and he wants to do it and we want him to do it.
We want it to be fun for everyone, blah, blah,
I
blah.
will, I will then say, okay, this is the reason why I don't put a number of photos that I deliver to people. Because if Uncle Bob's in my way and he prevents me from capturing the moments that I feel I can capture at that time by being in my way, then I'm not able to deliver the final product as promised. Now, I will still have killer photos for you, but they will be with knowing that Uncle Bob's also running around impeding my performance. And I've had this conversation with people. They're like, look, my sister or my cousin, it was a relative, is taking photography right now, and she wanted to know if she can take some photos for her portfolio.
That's
Absolutely.
a slightly different, that is a slightly different request.
Yeah, well, as I said, absolutely. However, if she impedes my performance, it's on you. Let's put this into the contract, sign a waiver or whatever. I want, or give me a pinky promise at least that you're not going to come back to me and say, where the fuck is my first kiss photo? And I'm going to tell you, well, here it is. No, that's the back of my sister's head. Right.
Yeah.
You know, that's what she
That's what
did.
happens. Yeah.
So
have that conversation. And then I'd say if something like that comes up, I think the next thing you have to do is, at least at the wedding, if you haven't already, is go introduce yourself to these people.
Right.
Because I bet you that person who's learning photography would be maybe more inclined to stand back and watch what you're doing. Or they might say to you, hey, we don't want to be in your way, so just let me know if I'm in your way. I just want to take some photos, which is fine, right?
So what it comes down to is basically communicating this with your client.
Yes.
It would be the same as if you're a graphic designer and
Oh, God.
you know, somebody comes to you and says, look, I want you to do a full corporate identity for me, from logo to stationery to everything basically. And then they say, okay, but here's a design that my nephew started, you know, and actually my nephew wants to be involved. So can you call him and email him and just kind of coordinate with him? At that point, you kind of go, all right, well, here's the thing. We'll do it. We're still going to charge you a hell of a lot of money to do it. And any extra work that he creates for us will be billed to you. And that's what you kind of got to do. So the thing about it is you have to be diplomatic, and you can't be a diva about it, right? I always say this. I swear we should say this every episode. You can't be like, well, this is how I work. So if you want this, all right.
You know what's funny is that
this is actually my real voice.
right? Like you know that there's those really famous wedding photographers out there. I don't know any famous wedding photographers, but they exist. Those famous wedding photographers out there who charge an arm and a leg and no one's taking pictures at the weddings that they photograph. I would hazard a guess that those people are not showing up at a wedding, and if there's a camera, they're going, "Excuse me, put that thing away." Like, these people are not divas. They're nice people.
They're super nice.
Hence why they became
nice.
Right. Hence why they became famous photographers.
That's why they're charging so much money.
Yeah,
literally. Because totally. Because you don't
divas.
get there by being an asshole. So. Yeah. I think that the point of this episode is that you're going to step in shit at some point. Oh my God. Figuratively speaking.
There was literally dog poop on the sidewalk at this wedding. There was so much back and forth about, don't step in the shit. Don't step in it. It was so funny. Anyway, go on.
You're good. Somebody probably stepped in the shit. And you're going to, figuratively speaking, step in shit at some point. You have two choices. You can throw your shoes out, or you can just go and clean it up and deal with the shit and not throw a hissy fit about it, you know? What would be throwing your shoes out? I guess quitting and walking out and being like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've only heard of one person doing that once at a wedding, and it was like request after request after request after request, and no one listened. And this person was like so upset. She was crying. She was like, I can't handle it anymore, so I'm leaving.
I've actually left a wedding at the end of my shift one day, one time, without talking to the bride and groom.
Oh boy, what happened?
No, nothing. It was a great wedding. I was just really tired, and for like 2.5 hours, I wasn't doing anything. So when 10 p.m. rolled around, which is when we were calling it a night, we packed our shit up and left. And then it was great because they didn't remember anything. They're like, when did you leave? I feel like you guys left early. I'm like, no, we left at 10. It was like we started packing at 10. We left quarter after.
Well, I feel like that's the big takeaway from this episode is communication. So definitely have that conversation with the couple beforehand. And you want to know, I mean, you obviously know what your policy is, but you want to know what their policy is because they're really the boss for the day. So
yeah, that's true.
Know what they expect before you show up. And then my thing is, I don't want to be like, so-and-so has a camera, I'm going to go talk to the bride. As far as I'm concerned, on the day of, that is not her responsibility. So I'm going to deal with it on my own. And because I communicated so darn well with this couple, I knew exactly what they wanted. So I could just go up to the guy and tell him, look, this is what they want. Put your shit away.
And so on the last note, I'll share something else.
Gotcha.
I used to love going to concerts. And
okay.
I mean, I'll still go to a concert. I'll still enjoy the performance. But there's one thing that really bothers me. And it's when, if I'm not in the front row, and I'm somewhere in the middle or in the back, and I'm looking at the stage, I see hundreds, if not thousands, of phones recording the show, and I'm kind of thinking
with
like
the flip and flash on too. By the way,
well, when they're doing video, there's no flash, right? But most of them are just recording video. Yes. Okay, and I'm kind of thinking like, why didn't you just stay home or go do something else? Save yourself the money. And log on to YouTube later to watch the clips. I really don't get it. Or what makes you think that you're like this like pro filmmaker, like this award-winning filmmaker all of a sudden, that your video is going to be better than the guy beside you, and that you absolutely have to document this concert. You know, if you paid $150 to go to a show, enjoy the fuck out of it. Like, don't take your phone with you and record it. Okay, I want a memory. Yeah. Well, then commit it to memory, because
no, you don't. That's
you
not
don't
what people
look
are doing.
back. You don't look back at your videos, right? And so a concert is such an arbitrary thing. It's just an artist performing for a couple hours, big deal. But if you're a parent and your daughter is getting married, for fuck's sakes, do not whip your phone out and start taking pictures or recording the
right.
So I literally will slap the phone out of your hands if I see you pull it out at a wedding. I will do it, and I will probably get a laugh before I get a punch in the face, because seriously, and this is your daughter's wedding or your son's. Enjoy it, commit it to memory. And I may have mentioned this before. the movie Secret Life of Walter Mitty, where at the very end, Sean Penn, who's a photographer in this movie, is about to take a picture of this like snow leopard, I believe, and he doesn't take it. He just watches it instead. And Ben Stiller asks him, he's like, "Aren't you gonna take it?" And he's like, "No, this is more like," he's like, "I want to experience it."
Yeah.
I got chills. Like literally I had goosebumps because before that I used to tell Hannah, I used to tell everybody that, like, because people have asked me, why are you bringing a camera to this, or you know, don't you wish my favorite is, don't you wish you had a camera? I'm like, I have a camera, it's at home. I'm here to enjoy this. Like,
right. Well,
I live my life.
That's a whole other conversation
Sure.
where people are like, why aren't you bringing your camera to the family reunion? Because you're not paying me to come to the family reunion. I'm part of the family. Thank you.
Right. Yeah. I'm not a photographer here. I'm a family. And so this is what I'm talking about, dealing with experts, because that's one thing. So the parents bringing their phone is one thing, but the expert, you know, while I'm a photographer at my corporate office, I take pictures of product that we sell for the internet. Great. Why are you working here today? Just come as a person, you know. But the problem is, you are not going to be able to get through to them. So what you have to do is you have to almost build not boundaries, but sort of establish a set of rules and regulations, if you will, that you can communicate with your client that will allow you to go in and restrict those people from working at your event, working at your job site, or even just tell them to fuck off.
Yeah.
You know, just be like, listen, I'm getting paid. And I will only do that. Like, I honestly don't care. I've had people show up with better cameras and lenses than me, and I've let them photograph the entire wedding because they were so far away and out of my sight. I couldn't care less. And I did not feel insecure. And that's where the issue is, I think, is a lot of times as a photographer, you might feel insecure. So you'll actually throw up a little defensive and be like, well, I'm being paid. You're not. This is my job. Go away. I'll only do that if they're in my way.
Yep.
You can have an entire production. You can have Annie Leibovitz directing it. If you're not in my way, I don't give a shit. That's it.
Yeah, for sure. And I would say it's perfectly reasonable for you to have a no other photographers policy and then let people just take pictures. That's basically what I do. I don't have a no cameras policy, but I do say I'm not going to take pictures while other people are. Because I want all the family looking at me, not looking all over the place.
Right.
But if you go to a wedding or any event really, and you throw a fit because other people have cameras and you have a policy that no one else is supposed to be taking pictures, if you throw a fit, guess what kind of reputation you're going to get?
Yeah.
So you need to, you need to either learn how to deal with it productively or totally ignore it, or be one of those people who's just blissfully unaware and doesn't even care about this stuff. I mean, I'm not one of those people, but those people exist. Those lucky bastards.
Yeah.
You falling asleep?
Nope. Checking notes, making sure I covered everything.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, like, talk to the couple. And there's a few things you need to talk about there, whether it's like a no cameras policy or find out what their policy is for their wedding.
Yeah.
Make sure that you agree. If you leave this conversation without an agreement, then you have a problem. So you need to totally understand what they want. They need to totally understand what you want. And you need to be like, yes, this is what we're going to do.
Right.
If you go to a wedding and their family, well, first of all, one of the things I guess I didn't mention earlier is that I introduce myself to all the vendors. So before a wedding, I send out an email to everyone saying, hey, don't worry about taking pictures. I'm going to give you photos. So they tend not to take photos then. So there's that. And then when you go to a wedding and you see people with these cameras, like with all of this stuff out, especially if the couple has told you that their Uncle Bob's probably going to bring a camera, go and introduce yourself to them and be super nice. Mm-hmm. If you want to say, hey, they're having an unplugged ceremony, I'm here to document it, they just want you to sit and enjoy it, be super nice. If the policy is that their family and friends can take pictures and everything. The worst that's going to happen is that they're not going to listen to you and you're going to go on with the policy that you two have agreed to. Or the best that could happen is he'll be like, you know what? You just let me know if I'm in your way. I don't want to block your view. I'm just going to take pictures from my seat or whatever.
And so what I'll end with is the one time that the bride and groom approached me to have their cousin who's taken photography be at the wedding and take photos for her portfolio as well. I said, well, why don't you just involve her with me so she's getting it from the same angle? And I said, I'll just basically hire her as an assistant without paying her. The photos will be her payment. I said, yeah, totally. Let's do it.
She'll get so much more out of it if you do that than if she just does it on her own. The person showed up with her equipment and everything, but she was so shy. Like I literally had to be like, okay, go ahead, take a picture. Like, come on. So it was kind of a pain in the ass. I mean, her confidence was really low, but I was like, come on, this is a great opportunity. Take a picture. And so then eventually what I did is give her one of my cameras. And I said, when you see a camera to my face, put this to your face, look for a good angle, start taking pictures. And I think I got 30 to 40 photos out of her. I don't know if any made it as finals. Well, and that would be a really good opportunity. I would say that if you're talking to a couple and they're saying, yeah, I know someone who's just learning and starting their business, they want to take some photos, is that okay with you? Yeah, that would be a really cool idea to say, well, how about you give me their email address? Oh, and then talk to them beforehand and involve them. And you know what? You might get an assistant out of it. They could get really good photography experience out of it. So that is a really cool idea, Petro. I'm writing that down.
Do it. I might have scared her. I've never seen her or heard from her or anything. So.
Well, maybe not the right career for her. But
that could have been great too, right? Oh, wow, this isn't what I want to do. I thought it was puppy dogs and ice cream.
I have to talk to people?
Yes.
All right.
Speaking of talking to people, I have nothing to talk about anymore, so I'm done.
Okay. So I have one more thing to say. If anyone else wants a French Bulldog camera t-shirt, we still have our launch promotion going on
lunch.
F8 style lunch. It's not lunchtime yet, Petro.
Almost.
Don't get too excited. So if you use the code DELAUNCH, I'll put it in the show notes, at F8 Style, you will get a free t-shirt of your choosing with the purchase of a bag.
DE as in double exposure?
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
DE launch.
Yeah. Not TE, DE.
That's going to be a future promotional code.
Nice. Love it.
I want my t-shirts.
They're coming. I hope they're coming.
They better come.
I might sabotage the shipment.
No. You've been listening to Double Exposure Show. Thanks to Benjamin Edward for our aardvark, Ben Sound for our theme music, and thank you for sharing this episode with a friend. Don't forget to join us in the Double Exposure Show group on Facebook, and if you like what you've heard, please leave us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes.
Until next time.
Get to work.